You guys have all watched Squid Game Season 2? Did you like it? I think I preferred Season 1. But anyway, a lot of people might wonder if kids in Korea actually played those games. And guess what? Yes, we did. We played a lot of them. Let me share my legit experience of those games. Dalgona, for example, back when I was in the elementary school, after classes, there would always be these old ladies or men selling dalgona outside of school. It was super cheap, like 5 cents, and they cooked it using these crappy gas burners and questionable tools that probably hadn't been washed in like ages. But we didn't care, like we were young and the smell of caramelized sugar was enough to draw a crowd of kids. So when you buy dalgona, they would give you a needle to carve out the shape, just like in the show. And if you succeeded, you got another one for free. But to be real, I haven't seen many students success because you need really subtle touch, and we didn't know tricks like licking the back of the dalgona like they did in the series. Since it only required sugar and soda powder, my mom said I can cook it for you. So she used this ladle at home and she melted the sugar, but it turned out that controlling the heat was kind of tricky. So she just ended up burning the ladle, and what she made was hard as rock. So yeah, I went back to buying it from the street vendors eventually. And speaking of dalgona, there was always this guy who would sell hundreds of baby chicks in boxes next to dalgona guys. Of course, kids wanted to buy them because they were so cute and they make a lot of cute sounds. But sad reality is that those chicks are often sick or weak and wouldn't survive more than a day or two. And kids even don't know how to raise them properly. Many kids learn the lesson that raising a life is not an easy thing. And it is really not ethical to sell those animals in front of this elementary school. Thankfully, nobody sells this bunch of chicks nowadays on the street, but it really happened when I was young. Another game in the series, the red light, green light, we actually played it almost every day during elementary and middle school years. Back then, not many students have these smartphones, so games like these were our entertainment. With kids' wild imagination, the thrill of running, stopping, and being caught was like a burst of adrenaline. Even without the life or death stakes from Squid Game, I believe we must have felt the same amount of adrenaline as those players in the Squid Game. I'm not sure if kids in Korea play this game nowadays. I hope they still play it because these kinds of physical games is so exciting, and I think it's healthier rather than sticking on the phone. What else? Oh, takji. You remember the game that salesman uses to recruit potential players? With that square paper, you flip it. Our different kids has different customized takji, and we'd experiment with all these different kinds of paper to fold the takji to create an ultimate takji that can flip over every other takji. Some mean kids use thick calendar paper. I don't know if it's just Asian thing, but we had this thick coated paper made for a calendar, and if you use that one, the dakji become really heavy and it was really hard to flip it over. And some of them even secretly stuffed heavy things inside the dakji to cheat, but they will eventually be caught if you use that kind of trick. Some kids like me enjoy creating fancy dakji that looks good. Use papers with various colors, and some of them use golden paper so the dakji shines when you use it. And there was always these kids who get in trouble because they created dakji by ripping off the pages of school books. They ripped the school books and used those papers to create dakji. And this made teachers so mad. And whenever we play dakji game, the winner would get the loser's dakji, and collecting them was like kids collecting TCG cards nowadays. My favorite one was, of course, a Pokemon printed dakji. I also decorated the dakji by myself, and it was my precious. I don't remember if I was good at the game though. I think I was okay, but I hated losing my dakji because I put a lot of effort to decorate them and customizing them. So I usually just watched other kids play it and just kept my dakji by myself. The marble throwing game in the later of the series, that was also really popular. There were so many beautiful glass marbles that attracted kids. And I remember one kid who collected tons of marbles in a giant sand bucket. He filled the whole bucket with the marbles. And imagine how heavy it would be. It's all glass marbles, He barely even moved it, and I don't know why he collected so many marbles like that. But honestly, it was pretty cool. And if you have watched season 2, there is this game called Gongi. It's the game you do with 5 small stones. And this game was mostly played by girls. During the break time between classes, all the girls gathered behind the desk and sit in circles to play it. And believe it or not, I was really good at that game. Honestly, if I were in the Squid game, I totally win this round for sure. Maybe I can take a video one day to show how professional Gongi player I was. You were able to buy these manufactured sets of like 10 stones at stationery stores, and they came in all colors, and some of them had pretty sparkles. It was also fun to collect these Gongi stones. And even you don't buy that manufactured one, any kind of small size pieces can work as Gongi stone. Those girls during the PE class, they just picked up some small stones on the ground and played it while the boys played soccer. Yeah, these games were a huge part of my childhood. It is true that sometimes school was really stressful and shitty, but this kind of memories playing games with friends became one of my happiest memory. So yeah, the Squid Game itself is fictional, but the games in the series is 100% real. And there are so many other games that I played when I was young. I think if I become a script writer for a Squid Game, I can come up with so many different games. If you have any questions about Korean culture or anything else, let me know in the comment. I would love to share more of my stories. See you in the next video. Bye bye!